With digital overload, endless scrolling, and constant pulls on our time and attention, many of us are feeling disconnected. We're craving real meaning and authentic connection, but where do we even start? The answer might lie in ditching the algorithm's demands and returning to what's authentically ours. For our next guest, that journey began with a rural existence that restored their focus and their creativity. Let's welcome artist and writer Cody Cook Parrott. Hello, Cody. Thank you for joining us.
Hi, thanks so much for having me.
Yes. So, Cody, for someone feeling just trapped by the digital noise and meaningless scrolling, what's the first gentle step toward recognizing that pattern and maybe choosing something different?
Gosh, I was just talking to a friend the other day and we were joking about how easy it is to forget that our phones have an off button. And so like a gentle approach is, I've been telling people lately, is just try turning your phone off, even for an hour. Just take a break and go outside, try to cook something, maybe put a record on if you have a record player. But yeah, just really powering down, I think, is a great place to start.
Yes, that's such a good point because initially when I think turning my phone off, it's like, oh, well, I could just put it on silent, but you're still not quite disconnected from it. So I think I like that solution of, hey, just turning it off for a little bit. And your solution involved a dramatic geographic change. For our viewers who can't move to the country, what is the core lesson from rural living that they can bring into an apartment or the suburbs?
I love that. Even the biggest cities have parks and have nature, and so many people, whether it's, just in your backyard or up the street, there's a tree or a flower or a series of bushes or hedges, that you can visit and touch in on, even just taking a walk down the sidewalk, putting on some good music and going for a walk, putting on a podcast. So I think really, yes, I am blessed to live in a rural town of 102 people in northern Michigan. But I
Mm-hmm.
think that, finding a close group of friends, getting involved in your neighborhood community, are all good ways to really bring kind of like the small city vibe into the big city.
Yeah, and like you mentioned, going outside, going to the park, going for a walk, it kind of creates that ease of steadiness and a little bit of calmness into our lives. And you've talked about trading algorithmic validation for authentic community. What does building connection based on trust rather than likes actually look like in practice?
Hmm. I just felt my own nervous system feel calm when you asked that. And,
Yeah.
it's so easy. These apps like Instagram, TikTok, they're built like slot machines and they're built for us to feel like we're connecting when we're actually disconnecting. And so for me, having those relationships in person in my community gives my nervous system, I think, what I was looking for in the app. Like the app promises connection and friendship, but I actually have to look just outside my window to find that truly.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And let's talk about your book, The Practice of Attention. How did stepping away from performance based platforms fundamentally change your relationship with your own creativity and sense of purpose?
Yeah, there's no way I could have written a book while still being on social media. My attention was so fractured that I couldn't even sit down and write for more than 10 minutes at a time. And don't get me wrong, I know lots of people who have written books 10 minutes at a time, especially shout out to parents and caregivers who can only fit in those little time frames. But
Mhm.
I knew I wanted to be writing for hours at a time, and deactivating my Instagram account is what allowed me to really write and finish the book.
Okay, perfect. I'm going to let our viewers know where they can learn more. Thank you so much for joining us today. And to our viewers, for more information, you can visit CodyCookParrot.com.